Can really tell we're in the last 2 weeks of August. Not a lot of activity tonight in the markets, although, by the time we get to taking a look at them at the end, that can change. You never know. There is stuff happening. We do have a war to win or to draw or to back away from or to whatever that's going to be over there. I got to tell you something. I feel sort of about this war like I did about Vietnam, even though we don't have boots on the ground in this one. And that is, what's the exit plan? If there's no exit plan, stop it. I don't think either side has an exit plan. I think it's a stalemate. I think it's time to just end it. Yeah, I'm not sure that Zelensky is going to get what he wants. I'm not sure Putin's going to get what he wants, but I'm suspecting Putin might get more of what he wants than Zelensky is. But overall, there's no exit plan. It's time to stop. That's it. Let me know in the comments below if you see anything wrong with that logic. If Zelensky would come forward and say, okay, here's what we're going to do. A, B, C, D, we win. They're gone. We've pushed them all the way out, and we can do that within this amount of time, and it's just going to take this, this, and this. Here it is, blah, blah, blah. And the generals look at it and they go, yeah, that makes sense to me. Then great. Then let's go do it. And we show it to Putin and go, here's what they're going to do to you. Well, obviously, you don't want to give away all your stuff, but you give them an idea of what the plan is, and Putin might go, oh, that doesn't look great. I don't really have an answer for that. And then maybe he says, we'll back away. But I don't think they have any such plan. I don't think they have any such ability. So anyway, that's my theory. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Whole Mars blog. I always have a very great deal of difficulty saying that all at one time. Reposted Elon Musk. Elon Musk says they, meaning the rest of all of the naysayers, the Tesla Q people, will switch from claiming that Tesla self-driving is fake to saying that Tesla self-driving is unfairly good. I love Elon Musk. He says these things that could become like, something people will put up on a plaque on their wall. Tom Zhu, Tom Zhu is, he's the guy that has had various positions over the last few years, running the Chinese factories, running the US factories, running all of sales, I think, for a while. Now he's back, I think, to running the Chinese. I'm not exactly sure what he's doing right now, but he's got a big job. Well, it turns out that he sold 82% of his shares. And that's big news right now. Of course, again, there's no news in August. So everybody's scrambling, trying to find something that might give them some clickbait. Oh, he sold those shares in 2023 and 2024. Seems like so last year. I don't know what to tell you. So that's the headline right now that Tom Zhu sold those shares. I imagine that he had reasons for selling them. Maybe he had an opportunity to buy into SpaceX. Maybe he had an opportunity to buy into 𝐄𝐦𝐚𝐢𝐥. Who knows what possibilities there were for somebody at his level. I don't care what he was doing in 2023 and 2024. And I'm guessing he might have acquired some more shares since then through stock plans and things like that. Yahoo Finance has this today. Tesla is once again expanding its charging infrastructure, but this time for semi-trucks in partnership with PepsiCo. Now, I don't know what this partnership business, it never really explains that. Tesla has submitted permits to build a new 6-stall semi-charging facility in Denver at one of the soft drink corporation's distribution centers. Now, if this is a partnership, does that mean that other truckers will be able to bring their trucks in and charge there? Is that what's happening? I really don't know, but this is Denver. The two companies have developed a very big mutually beneficial partnership in recent years, with PepsiCo helping the EV giant test the vehicle and providing invaluable feedback in improvements as a part of the pilot program. Now the Tesla semis are nearing the start of mass production. They will require a much larger charging infrastructure, and PepsiCo, which has been using the trucks on delivery trips to neighboring states like California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Nevada, has both the financial resources and incentives to help facilitate such construction. It has already filed permits to construct its 18 Tesla semi-chargers in Charlotte, North Carolina. Well, there you go. We knew about this. I think that's been from 3 or 4 weeks ago. All of this could not have come at a better time for Tesla, which is finally starting to see positive momentum after a catastrophic first half of 2025 that featured formal boycotts, massive sales slumps, and a newly impactful social stigma. Okay. With the semi only just beginning to find its footing, a verdict is a long way off. But if the truck is a success, which is not a guarantee, as there have been cases of things going wrong on the semi trucks, I haven't heard about any. It could be another notable win with both Tesla investors and the public, with a somewhat unheralded vehicle in Tesla's portfolio. Yeah, nobody talks about the semi. It's one of my favorite things that they do. And I think it's going to be very, very exciting to see what happens in the coming year. By the way, this is Randy Kirk, and this is the time that you can do it if you haven't already done it, which is, you know what to do, is hit the like button and then the subscribe button and the notify button. And what's going to come up later tonight? Tell me. Put something down in the notes below. Let me know what I should talk about tonight. It's a slow news month. No, I'll have a great show tonight. Somewhere around 7:45, there'll be something of immense importance and incredibly well done. You be sure to show up. Tomorrow, everything will be normal, back to a very normal week, it looks like. I think everybody's in town, which is shocking because this is when everybody usually goes out of town. But anyway, Larry tomorrow in the midday, and then Brian White at the evening time, and a regular after the bell in the morning. Dan Ives of Dives Tech is how he goes on X. He says, we are updating the IVE's AI Revolution 30 list, reflecting recent momentum in the AI revolution. Here's the companies they are adding. So if you're interested in other stocks besides Tesla, or just kind of following the whole AI thing, here's a couple of things he's adding. He's adding CrowdStrike. He's adding Roblox. He's adding GE Vernova. GE Vernova. That's who I couldn't remember in my conversation with Brian Wong on Friday night, I believe. No, is that Friday night or Saturday morning? Anyway, when he and I were talking about the various companies that are developing fission reactors, well, GE Vernova is promising first deliveries of SMRs in the early 30s. And I mean by early 30s, I mean like 3031. And then there's Nebius, Nebius, to their list. So those might be interesting for you if you're interested in keeping that AI theme, keeping watch over some of those things. All right, this is the week when what comes out in terms of information is all about housing. Now, housing got a lift last week. So some of the housing stocks were popping up. Why? Because the mortgage rates were the lowest they had been this year. So the mortgage companies somehow, the 10-year notes came down a bit, 10-year treasuries came down. So they jumped in there and they lowered their mortgage rates. Now the 10-year notes have gone back up. We'll check those in a minute and see where they are right now. But I'm not sure where the mortgage rates are today. But the housing industry got a little bump from that information. I'm sure that there were people who have been waiting on the wings that ran out and tried to grab onto that low mortgage rate. But anyway, what's coming out this week? Well, we got the Home Builder Confidence Index. That'll be out on Tuesday. No, that's Monday. And last month that was at 33. They're thinking that'll bump up to 34. Now we're out of season, basically. I mean, well, that's not true. Season goes to about the end of September. Sometimes it'll sneak into October. But sometimes if the mortgage rates come down this winter, there will be, or even the fall, there's a lot of pent-up demand. So if mortgage rates were to drop into the low 6s or high 5s, I think you would see a very big off-season. We saw that happen, I want to say it was 2 years ago, when the winter business or the fall and winter business was huge. And it actually impacted the spring business because so many people bought over the off-season. Housing starts come out on Tuesday. Last month, they were at 1.32 million. They're thinking that's going to drop down just a little bit to 1.3. Building permits, which were 1.4, dropping down a very tiny bit to 1.39. Now, again, these are estimates. We don't know what's going to happen. Then on Tuesday afternoon, I'm sorry, on Wednesday, no, it's Tuesday afternoon, sorry, Tuesday afternoon, we get the minutes of the Federal Reserve's July meeting. I think that that's usually Wednesday, isn't it? Maybe it's Tuesday. Okay. Anyway, FOMC meeting on, I guess, Tuesday afternoon. Thursday, nothing on Wednesday. Thursday, we get initial jobless claims as always. They think those are going to stay the same as last week at 224. I've decided that when they give this estimate about initial jobless claims, they are doing this. They are guessing because they're anyway. Philadelphia Fed manufacturing survey comes in at the same morning, Thursday morning. Last month that was up 15.9. They're thinking it'll be up 5. What? I don't even know what these numbers mean. Up 15 point. Anyway, that's what's going to come in. I will look it up. I will talk about it in detail as I always do. S&P Flash USA Services and manufacturing both come out on Thursday morning also. No guesses on those two from the folks that they ask to guess. Existing home sales last month were 3.93. They're thinking that pops up a tiny bit to 4.0 just because, I guess, I don't know why. And then the U.S. leading economic indicators, I know I say this every single time the words come out of my mind, nobody pays any attention to this number anymore. It's been down like 100 months out of the last 101. It was down last month, 0.3, and it's down this month, or they think it's going to be down 0.1. And it doesn't seem to be leading any indicators. It doesn't seem to be giving us information that's useful. What can I say? And by the way, if it goes down 0.1, they keep on saying, well, that doesn't mean a recession. It just means it's down. Anyway, we'll talk about it. I'll look in it. I'll look in detail, and I'll give you anything that I think is useful out of it. The main event of the week, though, will be Fed. Well, maybe not, because the end of the war could be the main event of the week. But according to this article, and I think this is Market Watch, the main event this week will be Fed Chairman Jerome. No, this is maybe. Anyway, I didn't write it down. Sorry. The main event this week will be Fed Chairman Jerome Powell's Jackson Hole speech on Friday. Powell has been under very constant attack from the White House and from its allies, Treasury Scott Bessent. He's got now 2 members and possibly by September 3 members who will all be saying that we need to cut. Whether the Fed will cut at all is maybe going to be hinted at in the speech, but I keep telling you, I've said it once before, I'm going to say it again right now. Anything can happen between now and September 18th, it might be. Anyway, when the Fed has their meeting and makes a decision, because all it takes is one of these CPI reports. I know they say that they don't do it based on one data point, but the truth is, at least your opinion changes. I know not yours. The market's opinion can change on a dime. Last week, CPI, everybody goes, yeah, gonna get 50 basis points. The next day we get PPI. Oh, no, not gonna. Anyway, many retailers have a fiscal year that ends in January. This week seems to be one of those weeks which might give insights into the consumer. So we'll be looking very, very heavily at these, as I always do, because I want to say what they're saying about the consumer. So Home Depot, Lowe's, Target, TJX, Walmart, and Ross all give their results this week. And that should be super interesting to see what the consumer is acting like. Other things to think about this week would, of course, be the Ukraine peace deal, whether that is happening, whether it's not going to happen. The peace dividend so far has not been obvious. I haven't really seen anything that would indicate that people are like, oh yeah, we're buying the market because it looks like we might get to peace. But we'll see. If we actually get a decision this week, we'll see what that happens. I'm, of course, predicting and continue to predict that we'll see a 5 to 10% pullback over the next weeks. Probably by the end of September, we will have that pullback. And then we'll go to all-time highs. Most analysts don't agree with me. Most of them think I'm way too pessimistic. Most of them think we're just going to keep going up and to the right, up and to the right, up and to the right. That seems ridiculous to me. It seems odd. It seems weird. For Tesla, I'm totally expecting sideways for now. I think they will sell out. I'm 100%, I'm like 99.9% sure they will sell out all U.S. production for September. That seems to be a done deal. They've added a couple of, as you know, a couple of new trims in China. I think that's helping China sales. I think European sales are going to be weak, but I think it's going to be, it's going to hurt maybe 20,000, 25,000 cars they could have picked up. So we could be in the 480 range. I don't know. We'll look at that later and see where we think we're going to be. But I think it's going to be way better than anybody's expecting. But I can tell you just again, this is just anecdotal. But I have a neighbor who's looking to buy 2 Teslas, going to sell both of their Mercedes and replace those with Teslas. That is, if they can make it happen before the end of September. But they said that there's not very many in the showrooms, and that the people they've talked to are not like, okay, if you order today, for sure you're going to get it by the end of September. So anyway, that was what I heard. If you've heard differently, then please let me know in the comments below. But as we're only in the middle of August, I think selling out by the end of September is a done deal. I would think if we're going to sell out by the end of September, if we're going to sell out now, or by the end of August, we've sold out all of September. Very good chance that people who were like, yeah, we're going to buy one, and then they were too late. Probably a bunch of those people are going to buy one anyway. And or they might buy the new Model Q, whatever that's going to be. We should have that announcement. You realize September is going to be crazy. We're going to have the opening up of Austin sometime between September 1 and September 30th. We're probably going to get FSD 14 sometime in the month of September. We're going to get probably the reveal on the Model Q sometime in the month of September. We're going to get opening up Austin to all comers. We're going to get maybe increases in the size of the territory. We're going to get the safety rider out of the front seat. All these things are possible in the month of September. So Tesla is probably going to have a great September. The question is, when does the FOMO start for that? If we all know all those things are going to happen, when do people start going, okay, I better get in? The Atlanta Fed GDP tracker has been updated on Friday. This is the first chance I've had to tell you about it. And it came in at exactly the same as it was, 2.5. Which is kind of unusual for the Atlanta Fed tracker, the GDP tracker, because it tends to be a little bit up and down, but this time exactly the same. We'll get a new number on that on Tuesday, which I may not get to report to you till Wednesday. Then we've got the Truflation. I got lots of information on Truflation today. So we've got the 2.06% is the overnight number. We've got down to 1.92 now on the year over year. PCE coming down a little bit to 2.61. Here's the details. Food and non-alcoholic beverages and tobacco are heading up now, and they were not previously. So those are starting to head up a little bit. Household furnitures and durables have been heading up. They're still heading up. Transportation vehicles, new cars are heading up, but not the rest of transport. Everything else in transport, flat to down. Personal items, toothpaste, shampoo, all this stuff, heading up a little bit. Household goods, household products, those are all steady, under 2%. Everything else is good. Utilities are way down. So overall, you're hearing what the overall numbers are, but there are a few things heading up a little bit right now. We'll see how that continues to develop as the month goes along, as we get closer to PCE. All right, let's look at the numbers. Let's start off with what is Tesla doing here in the pre-market. Tesla's up $1.84. We're back up to 332. We had a mountain to climb to get back to 330. What were we? 30, almost 340. Where were we? 338. Yeah, 340 and change, right? 341 or so. Anyway, but at least we're making progress tonight. Up right now, $1.72. All right, what about the rest of the market? Let's go ahead and take a look. We now have the bonds, and the bonds are down 0.8 of a basis point, back down to 4.32. Maybe that's a good sign. Maybe we're going to continue to see as we get closer to Jackson Hole, That'll continue to go down, 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 down. We have got oil down 22 cents at 62.58 and natural gas up, down 1.78% back to $2.86. Gold down a little bit, down 980, 33.72, starting to get closer and closer to 3333 after it's gone up and it's gone down and it's gone up and it's gone down. And after all that, it's getting very, very close to where it had been for months at that 3333. We've got silver down a tab, 0.22 at 37.89, and copper down also about the same, about 0.21 at $4, almost $4.40. Where is it? $4.48. So very close to that 450. It hasn't moved very much. The buck is slipping a little bit tonight in the pre-market, and Bitcoin is also slipping a tad, 212 down at 117,549. We've got the Dow up 60 or 0.13, the S&P up 0.15, and the NASDAQ up 0.21. So that's not any kind of this rotation. We're not seeing the rotation, at least in these very small pre-market numbers. So everything's kind of up and going up in the pre-market, though. That's always nice to see. Maybe they're thinking that we're going to get good news in where's that going to be tomorrow? Is that going to be in Washington, D.C.? I think so. Okay, the last thing on my agenda tonight, I got to tell you something. The book is going to be amazing. Just plan to buy it. Come on, you're going to buy it just because you're going to buy it. I mean, I think we're going to probably have the Kindle version will be, either $3.99 or $4.99 or something like that when we first come out. So you want to buy that just because you love the channel, just to say thank you, Randy. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't, part of Patreon. Of course, I love it that you just watch. That's the main thing. But you want to buy it and then also read it and then review it. I'm just giving you a heads up. It is going to be amazing. The chapters are starting to come in. I'm almost finished with my chapters. ChatGPT. Grok is an amazing writer. So even if I'm not, Grok just makes me so much better. Now, it's not like this is the first time I've had some kind of a system that's helped me with my writing. I mean, Word has been helping me with my writing for 20 years. So, it's just better and better methodologies to help us be more superhuman than we have been in the past. That's kind of the nature of what we're going to say in the book as one of maybe 20 points that you'll be interested in seeing. All right, just want to let you know that all that's going on. One more check of Tesla. It's still there, $1.81 up in the green, and we have a great and fun week ahead of us. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow 3 times, as we do each and every day. It has been, let's see, what did you miss? Let me quickly go over what you missed this morning. You missed a great show. So great, I can't remember what I said. Oh, I know what it was. It was Brian and I. It was the part that got cut off, the other night. I think it was Friday night, and the Zoom thing didn't work or whatever. We found it. I put that up this morning, and we talk about the details of our price targets, the details of what we think is going to happen with the overall equities markets, the details of what we think is going to happen with the economy. I was so sad to see it gone because it was phenomenal. And so I'll put that card right up here for you to go check that out. Okay, that's it. I'll see you in the morning. I'll see you later tonight. It's been great talking to you.